The 10 religions represented in IRO are Hinduism, Taoism, Buddhism, Islam, Christianity, Sikhism, Judaism, Zoroastrianism, the Baha'i faith, and Jainism. Hinduism, Taoism, Buddhism, and the Baha'i faith are relatively inclusive in their beliefs. Sikhism, Judaism, Zoroastrianism, and Jainism are relatively small communities which do not seek to proselytize. In contrast to the other 8, Islam and Christianity are relatively exclusive and proselytizing. That presents a special challenge not only to Singapore, but to many other countries as well. The interaction between Islam and Christianity over the centuries has been a troubled and difficult one, and is a major source of tension in the world today. Memories of the Crusades, for example, still run deep. Terrorism has complicated this conflict further. The reasons are complex, with long roots in history. September 11 forced religious leaders on both sides to look hard at each other's positions, wondering whether any reconciliation is possible. In Singapore, September 11 and the discovery of the JI network encouraged Muslim and Christian leaders to reach out to each other. And we're beginning to see Muslim and Christian leaders reaching out to each other on the global stage. In October last year, more than 100 senior Muslim leaders from around the world, Sunni and Shiite, sent an extraordinary letter to Pope Benedict XVI and other Christian leaders, proposing theological similarities as a basis for peace and understanding. They said, finding common ground between Muslims and Christians is not simply a matter for polite ecumenical dialogue between selected religious leaders. Stressing that if Muslims and Christians are not at peace, the world cannot be at peace. They continue, as Muslims, we say to Christians that we are not against them and that Islam is not against them, so long as they do not wage war against Muslims on account of their religion, oppress them, and drive them out of their homes. In that letter, Muslim leaders declared that the basis for this peace and understanding already exists. It is part of the very foundational principles of the one God and love of the neighbor. Anglican Archbishop Rowan Williams of Canterbury immediately welcomed the letter as a clear reaffirmation of the potential for further developing of existing dialogue and common action between Christians and Muslims and other faith communities. The Vatican responded positively too, and less than 2 weeks ago, following discussions between senior Catholic and Muslim figures in the Vatican, Pope Benedict XVI gave his approval to the creation of a permanent Catholic-Muslim Interfaith Forum that will hold its inaugural meeting this November in Rome. As proposed by Muslim leaders, the theme of the first meeting, which the Pope will attend, is love of God, love of neighbor. The second meeting will be held in a Muslim country in 2010, and I hope that one day the meeting will be held in Singapore. Such outreach among religious leaders is so very necessary if we are to have peace in the world. Instructing the young to be tolerant of diversity is crucial. Religious differences are deep differences. They are not superficial and cannot be easily breached. Any religious group, when threatened, can react violently, as we can see in so many parts of the world. If we do not tolerate diversity in our daily lives, here in Singapore, our social fabric will be torn apart. This tolerance has to be based on mutual understanding and regard. Our common humanity should be the platform where we meet. Whatever our race or religion, we're all human beings, each with his own dignity and autonomy. The president of Soka Gakkai International, Daisaku Ikeda, has dedicated his life to the promotion of interfaith harmony, to build what he calls infrastructures of peace. I thank the Singapore Soka Association for organizing this Peace Interfaith Symposium for youths. It is not enough for religious leaders to meet. We need our youths to reach out to one another so that they can together build Singapore's infrastructure of peace. To the youths who are here this afternoon, I hope you will express your views freely and frankly during the symposium. Speak from your hearts about your fears and hopes, and listen to one another with respect and affection. Whatever we do or say, however, disputes and conflicts can suddenly arise. We must expect that. But we will be able to overcome them so long as we remember that we're all fellow human beings and that Singapore is our common home. Thank you very much.